The reason why I'm bringing it up is because me and Miguel was recording our podcast and we were sitting here reading people's scary stories.
Right.
All you heard was somebody go, "Get out of here."
What the heck?
I swear to Bob, we didn't hear. Huh, Miguel? Oh, he's off the camera. Sorry. We were sitting here. We didn't hear it in real time, as in sitting there. But when I was replaying the audio, all you heard was, "Get out of here."
Well, yeah, because sometimes you won't hear it with your ears, right? But then the electronics will pick it up. Pick it up.
And so, as next thing you know, the light. I don't know if you guys can see it. For the audio listeners, check out the video. But in the back of the corner, right there, the light just said, "Bing."
Bing.
And I was like, "Oh my god, what the heck?" Yeah, it was scary.
That is creepy. Yeah, especially out here, because this place is...
Hi, my witchies. Welcome to the Witch Talk Tales podcast. My name is Megan. This is Sophia. Hi. And we have our guest, Fonzie. Now, on tonight's podcast, we will be talking about haunted stories that Fonzie will be telling us. And guess what? We are here at Kearney Park, and behind us, Kearney Mansion. Now, if you're from Fresno or even from the Central Valley, why not subscribe to the podcast? Viewer discretion and audio discretion is advised. Everything we talk about is just pure speculation, strong adult languages. But let's get straight into this episode. So grab your popcorn and sit down with us because you're in for a rude awakening. Here with Fonzie, haunted stories at Kearney Park and Mansion. You ready?
Here we go. Here we go. I watch this stuff all the time, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of things that go on in Fresno, and a lot of different stories that you hear. Not thinking that stuff would go like that down here, and then you hear people's stories, and you're like, oh, that stuff happens, and you start remembering stuff that you hear, or recalling things that you guys experience, and you're like, oh, there's some crazy stuff that happens around here, huh? Mm-hmm. Everyone has a story.
Well, can you tell them where we are?
We are at Kearney Park, in front of the Kearney Mansion. So if you guys haven't been here, I recommend coming and taking a tour because,
Well, when we were driving here, you already feel the eeriness of it. It was dark and scary.
Yeah, this place has history here. Yeah, a lot of the stuff here.
A lot of history. Yeah, and a lot of scary stories, I think, come from here, too.
Yeah, so one of the stories I have tonight happens to have a tie to Kearney Boulevard here at this.
And mind you, we haven't heard it yet. So, yeah, be afraid. Be very afraid.
The street alone is one vibe on itself. So if you guys ever experienced anything on Kearney Boulevard, driving down here, then, I recommend if anybody out there has a story to let you guys know, too, because the story tonight happens to be from Kearney Boulevard.
Oh, wow. Hey, scary.
Dun, dun, dun.
No! Not the sound effect. I'm scared.
Yep. Be careful at Kearney Boulevard at nighttime because it is haunted.
Not the saxophone.
No. Right. Now, before we get into the story, what did you hear about this place before you tell us the stories that you've heard?
The ties of how, the mansion has been here, the man who lived here, he passed away and everything, and that, he liked the children, so he made it into a park. And there's stories that we just hear that sometimes there'll be merry-go-rounds that go around. You'll hear kids playing around. You'll hear laughter and whatnot. A lot of people said that they have heard stories about like Civil War and stuff because they do the reenactments here. Mm-hmm. So some of the energy just from being the Civil War reenactment festivities that they have here, that sometimes the energy comes here and sometimes you'll hear stuff like that here. Oh, wow. A lot of the stuff that I've heard personally about the park was because of the man that lived here at the Kearney, Mr. Kearney. Mm-hmm. He liked the kids, he liked the children and whatnot. So he decided to dedicate his land and, they made it a park. And so families can come here, but you'll hear at night kids running around or on a merry-go-round and the playgrounds running around at nighttime.
It's interesting. This is the first time I've heard about the children.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
This is the first time I've heard of other haunting experiences here. For example, I think I asked my friend when I first started listening to scary stories about Fresno. Yeah. She said they were out here back in the days, probably early 2000s or something. Uh-huh. And she said they came out here with a couple, guys and girls. Mm-hmm. They're messing around. I don't know if they were messing around, but they were out here just, chilling.
Nighttime shenanigans, just kicking it. Yeah.
Right. And they said that they parked, I'm not sure exactly where, but the two guys started walking towards somewhere and they ran back so fast and they said, let's get the out of here. Like, look at that. F
This
out of
place
here.
is dark. I mean, you can see a couple of lights from like a restroom stall or like the house alone right here, but everything else here, pitch black.
Yeah.
We came in high school just driving around, not knowing that the reenactment for the Civil War was here, and we actually bypassed the gate and came in through the back somewhere. I don't know if it's still open anymore. This was back in
the days.
Back in my day. Yeah. And so I'm like, why are there people looking like Civil War people? And I'm thinking they're ghosts and stuff. But then as I turn my bright lights on, I see tents everywhere. So that's when I realized that it was actually people here. And I was like,
Right.
It was during the Renaissance Fair thing that they
one of
had.
those. Yeah, because they have the Renaissance Fair one part of the year, and then I don't know if they do the Civil War reenactment with the cannons and stuff like that.
Wow.
So that's why they say a lot of times you'll see people in a Civil War attire because of the reenactments they had here. A lot of the energy had just brought, and some spirits might have came.
So, well, speaking of that, do you think that the reenactment somehow brought the spirits' attention?
That's what rumor had it, because I didn't have too much detail, but they're like, if you ever see anything there, it has to be because people that were doing the reenactments from the Civil War would come and do the plays here, and that's the only reason you would channel that energy and bring it over here.
Wow.
So if you're from Fresno, listen to this.
Yeah. So if you have any more details about that, we'd like to know.
Right.
I would.
And the children too.
Yeah, and more stories that you had.
At the children's playground too, because I think I saw 2 as we were driving by.
When I grew up, there was a merry-go-round because we would go on it as kids, and to throw up and stuff.
Right.
That's when we were
Right.
don't be here at nighttime because sometimes you hear the kids that.
Wow, this is the first time I've heard about the children.
Oh my God, I'm scared.
So do you think people come out here to get spooked, or do you think just people come out here? Well, a little bit of
Because
both.
they've heard of the urban
Yeah.
legend of Kearney Park and Mansion. So I'm sure, during the time, this is before we had technology, correct?
Oh yeah,
So
this is back in the day, yeah.
we've all what is it? What is it called? Not oral tradition, when they pass it down from like being chismosas.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know
so
what
the tale comes down from generation to generation.
Correct.
And-
And so everybody's always talked about Kearney Mansion and Kearney Park.
Right.
Do you think that the reason why, well, okay, what I'm saying is,
people we get curious,
Correct.
and want to go and find out if that stuff is true,
You read my
right? So when
mind.
I heard of the stuff that happened around here, of course, we're in high school. Let's go to Kearney Park because let's go get spooked. Let's see if we can experience that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So people that are hearing it from us now, I'm pretty sure they're going to be just as curious and want to come out and check that stuff out too.
I mean, who wouldn't? I mean,
That's the reason I came out here.
So did you get spooked
Yes.
in high school?
Yes.
well, because
Because there was an incident that happened in high school, other than the fact that of the story that I'm going to tell you about my aunt.
Wow.
which we don't mind hearing now.
Wow.
You want to hear about it?
Yes, because I mean, I'm spooked.
Yeah.
But
So she would tell me the stories of things that happened back in her days because she used to go and kick back, and she was one of the ones that had went to the Rainbow Ballroom back in the day when it was happening, and all the bandas and stuff that would go there. So I heard about the person that was there, and we all heard about this I think on your podcast before, about the man with the chicken feet, right? Okay, so I heard that story. And similar story when you hear about people, the lady there, the guy who was really fine, he was handsome, and asked her to dance. She looks down. You
well,
see the
just
chicken
in
feet, right?
case, for those that haven't heard about it, let's tell the story in detail so then they are aware of the story instead of us just, oh, well, this happened, this happened, this happened.
Yeah, so the story that I've heard of is pretty similar to a lot of people that have told the story back in the day at the
So
Rainbow
if you're
Ballroom.
from Fresno, listen to this.
And the Rainbow Ballroom has, events there. To this day, they still have events there. You're going to have raves there or concerts and whatnot. And they would have the bandas back then. And this is back in like the 70s and whatnot, right? So it's been around for a long time. And she's telling us a story about, oh, didn't you hear about the man? Because she heard I was going to go to a rave back in like the 90s. And they were having a rave there. And you're going to go there? It's haunted, right? No, it's not. Yeah. Here's a story about the man and the lady. She was there, sees a really handsome man, and she's not dancing. He asks her to dance. And so she goes to dance. They're dancing the night away, and they're doing a slow song, and she happens to look down, and instead of shoes, she sees the man with the chicken legs, or the feet, right?
Chicken feet.
On the floor. And this is a packed dance floor. And so she looks at him, and, he's got this, really handsome guy, and so she takes off. And, everyone's saying, that was the devil. And so I hear that version of the story. People might have different ones, but I've heard different, similarities. We don't even know each other. So how are you going to hear a similar story handed down from maybe your family to someone else, and it's going to be kind of similar,
From generation to generation.
And if we don't know each other, but we're hearing the same version of the story,
Correct. It has
even
to
the
be true.
details might change a little bit. But
Right.
the man's there, he's handsome, she's dancing, there's chicken legs. The Rainbow Ballroom's haunted. We all know that already, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, I
'Cause
think
I've
I
heard
believe
the
it
same
too.
story too, but in Stockton. The same story that happened in Stockton is the same story that I've heard here at the Rainbow Ballroom. Chicken feet, but I think the story was the one in Stockton at Flamingo nightclub, he had hooves.
Yeah. The hooves.
Crazy, the hooves.
Yeah.
Now back to that. When your mom or your Thea heard the story,
My Tia's the one that told us that story about, you're going to go to the Rainbow. She's the same one that was telling us that story, and she was like, be careful because she's had experiences, and she's the one that said that she doesn't come back to Kearney Park at night anymore. Anytime we have a family event for Easter or a barbecue, we're all going to meet at Kearney. She's one of the first ones to leave before it even gets dark. She will not drive down Kearney Boulevard. She doesn't even. I don't even want to drive down Kearney Boulevard at nighttime. I came here tonight, but
as a special.
Yeah, and it's and because of that story, hearing that when I was in, I think maybe even junior high, as an early teenager, hearing that story because they would come out in the country. They were part of, the biker gangs. They would come out and they would party with the bonfire out in the middle of the orchards. They'd go out and riding around with their motorcycles and whatnot out in Madera, Kerman, especially here in Kerman and Fresno. And she remembers leaving, and they were actually not on a bike, but they were in a car this time. And they're driving down Kearney Boulevard. And during, when you drive down Kearney Boulevard, you see all the palm trees. Mm-hmm. And a man comes and steps out towards the street where they're at. And they're like, what the hell? Who's that guy? Does he need help or anything? He just walks out like nothing. Total dark road. But when she looks at him as they're passing by, she notices that he has a grin from ear to ear. Kind of like the Joker, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody has a smile that's going to go. When we smile, it's going to be like right here. So the creepy stuff is, how is that man going to go over there and sit there while you're driving by and then step out on a dark road, isolated out here, and then have that eerie smile and that big of a smile? She said she got so spooked out. She was chilled. She said, book it. They're like, does he need help? That's not a man. She said, just keep going. Don't look back. They look back and he's standing looking at the car. She freaks out, takes another second to guess it. He's gone.
Oh, heck.
She swears to this day. She goes, that wasn't a man. That was the devil.
So as they were driving up, he was in front of them.
From here
they were leaving, but he was.
And they're driving down, and on the passenger side from the palm trees, steps out from the side.
Then looks at him as they're driving.
As they're driving by, so he looks over
like
as they're passing by. So she's in the passenger seat and she's looking away like this, and she makes eye contact. And he's just a big old smile, ear to ear.
Like Joker.
Like the Joker. Nobody has a smile.
No, and then when they were driving, he looked at the car through the back window, right?
She made eye contact with that guy. She's seen his face. She said, I will never forget that face from ear to ear. And I heard that and I was like, oh my God. Every time I would come as a teenager, I would think about that story, even in the daytime, because I'm like, if we're ever here at nighttime, I don't want to see that guy.
But you are bound to see him.
Wow.
Damn.
Sent chills down my spine when I was hearing that. I wasn't even driving yet. And I'm like, oh my God, we're going to be going to a park in the middle of with the family, and they're going to be leaving whenever time they want to leave. Sometimes they're like, if you're tired, we're going to leave whenever we're going to go. And I'm like, I don't want to sit in the back seat of that car and see that dude.
And see that guy walking.
And just pop
up and just look at you.
Being from Fresno, we've heard about a lot of haunted places here, especially Kearney Mansion, right?
Right.
But I've never heard about the kids.
Yeah, this is my first time hearing about the children.
I have yet to experience being out here that late to experience any of that too. So that was his urban legend.
And we're here right now, 9:02 p.m.
You just came out here with a bunch of friends, or?
Yeah, it was a car
full of phones,
and just it was I think me and 3 other friends. It was in the back, and in high school, you get your car, you want to just take off and go do stuff, and it's driving around. Let's go by Kearney Mansion. So we didn't come in; we just drove around, and I was like telling them, "Be careful because there's a band that might pop out," and I'm telling him the story, and they're like, "No way!" And I'm like, "Yeah, my dad was telling me this, and I don't even want to be out here right now, and this is late." So we come out here in high school. And this after midnight. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So we come and we pass by, and only thing is, there's nothing out here. We didn't experience anything, so we're going back home. And there's a cemetery around here.
Where?
Yeah,
we passed the cemetery. If you go down about a block over and to the left, you're going to Fresno Memorial Gardens. You go one city block over past that, you're at St. Peter's Cemetery. And that's where I had my experience.
That's where we remember when we came that one time when we got lost, and it took us straight through that onto the left, and there was a cemetery. Remember that?
There's 2 cemeteries, like just right over, right over there. You're like 3-minute drive away from like 2 cemeteries from here. There's the Fresno Memorial and there's St. Peter's. So we came by in my car. We're like driving around. We go back down, and I'm like, okay, so let's go by St. Peter's. Let's just go by.
Which is a Catholic.
It's a Catholic.
One,
and at this point, it's in the 90s, early 90s, and the gates are closed. But we noticed that when we passed by, there's like a field next to it. And there's a dirt road. It's just a dirt path that you can drive because you got to get access to the field if you're going to work there. And at the end, there's a brick wall, but you can see the liners, the cement liners and the gray, plastic liners that they put the coffins in. And so we seen it, and I'm like, oh, look at that. Looks like pretty eerie. So why don't we just go over there and see if we can get close up to that?
Right.
And I have family that's buried there, like a lot of family that's buried there. And so we go over there, and, mind you, I have my car, and it's not the best car, but it never gave me problems, right? So we're driving down, and we can feel all the eeriness already. It's nighttime. It's dark. It's like this. It's got a little breeze. It's quiet. We shouldn't even be out there. What are we doing out there? really. We ain't no business out there. We drive all the way up there and we're looking at it and we're like, oh, this is kind of creepy. We can feel all the vibes and everything. And we happen to look, open the door looking, and we start to see the small liners that are not for the adults. And so that part, we kind of get a little creepy and we're like, hey, let's just go ahead and dip out here because now we're starting to see the small liners. And I was like, we should just go. So we get in the car and it's not wide enough for us to make a full U-turn. So I got to kind of back up. And there's these long trees that are, if you've ever been to St. Peter's, they have these long, tall trees. And they're spaced out enough for you to kind of do a 3-point turn between because there's no fence right there. It's just all trees that are going to block it off. Right. So I start to do my 3-point turn. And when I get there, my car dies out. And we're sitting there and it's pitch black. And I'm freaking out because there's nothing wrong with the car. It's never, ever had a problem. And it doesn't want to start. Yeah, so we're sitting there freaking out in the middle of this between the field and the cemetery. Half my car's in the damn grass of the cemetery, and it won't start. I try to start it once, nothing. I try to start it twice, nothing. The lights aren't even on, okay? And then finally the third time, I start it, and the lights turn on and the car starts. And we just get up and we book it. There's so much dust. I said, we're out of here because you know what? That must be that either ancestors that are buried here or the people that are already there are telling me don't mess around with this place and get out of here. You shouldn't be playing around. So our curiosity, just being nosy teenagers, that was my experience. The car died out. Nothing wrong with the car, ever. And then for that one isolated incident, nothing happened with the car after that either. So that was my sign that, you know what?
It's time
get
to
out
go.
of Dodge and it's time to go out of here.
Do you believe that it was paranormal or it was just it was just something natural that had happened?
Oh no, I don't have any problems with that car. It didn't rattle. It didn't nothing. And for me to sit there and say, hey, we got to get out of here. We probably shouldn't be at a cemetery of all places.
At that time,
in the middle of the night, after midnight. And then for that isolated incident, that was not just an isolated incident because I didn't have problems after that either. So
it was just that moment.
That moment.
And we're not supposed to be there. And they're just like, hey, get out of here. Don't be playing around at this place.
Because I know that spirits are able to mess with electronics.
Yeah. Because
right?
if the car was going to die out and the battery was okay, the lights would have never gone off.
Right.
So everything went off. We're listening to the stereo. The lights weren't showing on, nothing. And we're sitting there pitch black, half in a cemetery, half out.
So I wonder what it was.
It was them.
It was that, yeah.
It was some kind of spirit.
I'm convinced that it was something. It was more than one because that place is a whole playground of just everybody living there.
I remember I told you, last Friday, I went to the Molino Rojo. I go out and stuff like,
Where's that at?
Right there on Fresno and Belmont. The Molino Rojo.
Right on the corner.
Right there on the corner. Of Fresno and Belmont.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I was there, my friend goes, let's go after. So we went after work. We were just chilling there. There's a gentleman in front of us and my friend calls him over because, we're girls and he buys us something to drink. And I'm like, okay. And then we were sitting there talking to him. He says he works at a cemetery. He works at the Belmont one.
Memorial.
The Belmont Memorial. Where it was said to be haunted.
And that's an old one too.
Yes.
There's a lot of different sections with it.
So he says that during October, mostly October, that he's the maintenance or was the maintenance guy, that he would find a lot of brujeria stuff there.
Oh my God. Well, have you ever passed by in the wintertime when it's foggy? And it looks just like a Michael Jackson Thriller video?
No.
Have you guys never been, anybody out here has ever been by Belmont Memorial, by 99 in Belmont, and it's wintertime and you have the fog and you hit it at just the right time, like right before it gets dark or anything, you'll see that layer of fog just like you'll see it caked over and you'll see like the tombstones and everything? Yeah.
Well, it sounds cool, but scary at the same time.
Oh, it's creepy. I would drive by and you see all that stuff. I get chills when I pass by that. I mean, just because
we
it's a
went
cemetery.
out there last year or 2 years ago.
We have not been out there.
Yes, we have, hon. Remember when we went out to the Asian one?
That's right across, right?
Yes.
Oh, Sam Yup Cemetery.
Yeah, right next to that. One. So when you're driving down that street, where the older one is, where the Asian one,
because it's Belmont, then it's the Asian cemetery.
Yeah.
Then it's the
Is it Jewish?
No, the other
it's like Armenian.
Armenian.
Yeah,
Armenian.
Right, yeah. Okay, sorry.
Then St. Peter's.
Right.
Then it's this other one right here. Right. What's the one on 180?
Fresno Memorial.
Fresno Memorial.
Right here.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
We hit all those cemeteries that same day.
Oh, that's right. But we just basically went to go check it out.
We
so
just kind of went
in the winter.
Yeah.
Time,
wow.
Right by the little, because they're right next to each other.
Yes.
On I think it's Hayes or something like that, right? And you're driving down, going from the country this way, going and towards Belmont. And it's going to be in your right hand side. You'll see it all kicked up with a thin layer. Like it'll be the days that are foggy when you have full fog and all in the air. But there's going to be days when you're going to have just that layer of blanket right over the grass and the tombstones. That is eerie. And when I have to drive by there sometimes and pass by during that 1 hour and I see it over there, I look out of the corner of my eye. I just keep looking forward.
You just keep looking forward. You don't even want to, like a horse.
No, it irks me. I get I get these chills in my spine. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, drop down a comment. Let us know. I have never seen that view. I mean, like I said, it sounds cool. But
it's just like a movie too, but it's eerie at the same time. So you want to look, and I'm like waiting for something to be like,
like the
what's
right. I would book it.
What do they call them? Those people,
like
zombies.
Yeah. Man, yeah, I would trip out so bad. But if you haven't seen that, when you drive by there,
it's an experience.
Maybe this winter we'll go check it out.
Right?
Hell no. Hell no. So you're talking about a cemetery.
If I pass by there and I happen to get, I'll take a footage, a video, and I'll send it to you and let you know this is what I was talking about, and you can show everybody. Wow. Yeah. But if anyone else is out there that driven by and say, yeah, I know what he's talking about. Sometimes in the wintertime when the weather's perfect, you'll see that blanket of fog. And
for anyone that's lived on that side of town or live on that side of town.
Yeah, you'll pass by it a lot because it's right there.
It's right there.
Well, let's bring it back to Kearney Mansion.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I think we came here last year, a year ago or two. And if you guys are watching this, I'm pretty sure it's like a year or two. Me and Miguel was sitting here because there was a whole bunch of different tables. It wasn't these ones. These are new. They just put these.
Okay.
There was the blue tables with the little hole.
The hole.
Yes.
There's like chicken wire, right?
Yes.
They were back in the day because sometimes you have like the blue ones or the bright orange ones.
Well, we were able to move the table to angle it to face the house behind us. But when we showed up today, we saw this. Well, back to that. The reason why I'm bringing it up is because me and Miguel was recording our podcast and we were sitting here reading people scary stories.
Right.
All you heard was somebody go, "Get out of here." What the heck? I swear to Bob, we didn't hear, Miguel? Oh, he's off the camera, sorry. We were sitting here, we didn't hear it in real time, as in like, sitting there. But when I was replaying the audio, all you heard was, "Get out of here."
Well, yeah, because sometimes you won't hear it with your ears, right? But then the electronics will pick it up.
And so as next thing you know, the light, I don't know if you guys can see it. For the audio listeners, check out the video. But in the back of the corner right there, the light just said, "Bing."
Bing.
And I was like, oh my God, what the heck? Yeah, it was scary.
That is creepy. Yeah, especially out here. Because this place is like, it's quiet. Yeah, you can hear like the chirping of like the crickets and whatever. Yeah, but if...
Let's see if can you guys hear it?
It's loud out here. Yeah. See if the
crickets are like...
Well, I remember that first day we came out here as a group. Remember when you got your 10,000 followers?
Yeah, I had a little get together. We reached 10,000 on TikTok. And then we asked the viewers, hey, if we get 100,000 likes on the live, we'll go where you guys want us to go. So they liked it until it hit 100,000 K. And we were like, oh, here are the lists that you guys want us to go. And they chose Kearney.
Because they know.
So we came to Kearney Park. It was about 4 of us, huh?
Yeah, no, 5.
5 of us. We all jumped in the car.
It was me, you,
D,
J, and Miguel.
Okay. So we all jumped in the car. And we were driving over here, and I'm like, first time in my life that I came out here in the dark, and we were sitting there. We didn't come in, but we were right at the entrance, and we all got off, and we were just kind of like, and we were seeing things, orbs. We were seeing orbs.
The orbs.
And then we kind of look up. There's a cross. I saw the cross, as you're looking. To the right, I'm sorry. And there was a cross, and I'm like sitting there like this. Then I'm like, no. Then as we were driving, we got, like Hispanics say, los norteamos. Uh-huh. So I don't know, I thought we were going to go back to Kearney Avenue to go to, Fresno Street?
Right.
I don't know how we ended up on the 180. Mm-hmm. So we got all disoriented.
And
as we were driving, then we saw the dogs.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. You know what's crazy? When we were leaving, we were like going towards... we were trying to... again, back to what she said. We don't know how we end up like almost going towards the freeway. But I remember we made a right. And then next thing you know, everything just looks so dark. Mind you, it's Kearney Boulevard.
There are no streetlights out here.
Right.
No.
So as we were going, I remember Miguel was driving, and I looked, and I'm like, "Why is there a dog right there?" And then he hid behind a tree. Like, it was like he knew. The dog knew we were talking about him. He hid behind a tree, right?
Yeah.
And then I go, "Miguel, back up." So Miguel, reversed. And then when we reversed, we saw the dog. The dog peeked out and looked at us. And next thing you know, 2 other dogs showed up. What I'm saying is, after the first dog looked, all you saw was 2 more dogs appearing behind a tree. But mind you, we didn't see it, no other dog but that one.
But that one. So
And
where'd they come
also, it was a white dog. 3 of them. They looked like triplets. Like, the 3 dogs looked the same, as if he split into 3.
This is going to be the street it's going to happen on.
Yeah. And then I think we heard lechuza.
Yeah.
As it's just like everything was happening to us that day. I'm like, we kind of got lost in here.
But when I drove in and it's dark and there's no street lights out here anyway, so I had to put my high beams on because you're gonna look, and I'm thinking, am I going the right way? And I had barely even pulled in here, and I was like, wait a minute, because it looks so different than it does in the daytime, and I know there's a big parking lot towards the back because that's where we learned how to drive. We're going in there, and we do all that, and I'm waiting, and I'm thinking, am I driving for a long time already? And I didn't hit that back
It
parking
feels
lot?
like a time zone. Like,
Yeah.
not a time zone. What is it called when you run out?
Like time it was dragging, or like like a Twilight Zone-ish.
Yeah,
it's
the
like you
Twilight,
lost sight. And I'm thinking, did I hit that back parking lot already? And then finally I see it. I seen some cars, that are parked there. And then I go around, and then I start thinking, okay, that should take me right to the mansion. And it still seems like it's dragging. And I know I'm not driving that slow, but I'm not driving that fast because it's narrow right here, right? But I'm like, I should have been there already.
Well, that's what I thought too when we were coming. I'm like, okay, why aren't we getting there? Because there's no cars, there's no.
Yeah,
it's not during the day that you have to like kind of follow the cars behind you or whatever. But I shouldn't take that long to get over here.
And it doesn't take long to get disoriented because I barely made that first right and you're 30 seconds in.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, where the heck am I? I'm lost. Yeah,
and you can't see. You put your brights on it, and this whole place is just like one big old blanket of darkness.
And you know what's crazy? So, if you're from Fresno, you already know, driving down Kearney, you end up on this, you're like, okay, I'm going to go to Kearney, right? So you're driving straight, and then you go at a stop sign.
Right.
And then you have to make a little right to make a left.
Yes.
And then you're driving straight, blah, 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 blah. And then it happens again. You're making a quick right to turn left. And then when you go straight, you end up at the park. But it's crazy because I feel like when you don't know your way to get to Kearney, you will get lost.
Yeah, you will.
Because why are you going straight and then curving right to go, and then it happens again? Like as if Mr. Kearney created that driveway like that for a reason.
To make it all eerie, huh?
To
Because
make
as soon
it
as you
lost.
get in, it's dark and you get a little bit lost. And then that's when you start to think, okay, am I even going the right place? And did you get that eerie kind of feeling too, right? Like you can feel the energy shift
Right.
because
And
you're
it's
sitting
like,
here and you're driving, you're like,
well,
okay, I'm riding in a park, and in a park, and you're in a park, but then all of a sudden you're like, okay, am I right? Am I going the right way? Am I at that big parking lot yet? Why do I feel so eerie and it's so quiet? So I start rolling up my windows.
Right.
Well, when we pulled
Locking
up,
my door.
When we pulled up, we parked right there, and there was a truck behind us. She pulled over and let the truck pass us, right? And as he passed us, we were pulling up here because we came up what's that thing called? The driveway right here?
Yeah, right
We
here.
came up the driveway to come this way.
Yeah.
We were thinking he was already going to drive off, but instead he made a U-turn and parked and sat there while we were getting out of the car, like trying to leave. But then he's like, "Wait,
because I
think
put my emergency because I saw him. He was creeping up like right behind me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to put my emergency so he could go in front of me because I'm like, I'm not sure where I'm going.
What if he was disoriented and trying to follow you guys?
Right.
then you
And
guys
I think
didn't-
that's what he was trying to do because then I part within, no, he came around and we went this way and we both ended up parked too. And I was like, I go, oh, maybe it's,
Yeah. And it,
Right.
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So did something
wait, Chico, shine the light because I can't see.
did something get thrown at us, or did something get lifted and moved?
No, I think something got thrown at
Huh?
us. The what?
You guys, we are here at Kearney Park right now, right in front of Kearney Mansion, and something was crawling up the tree, and then it fell to the ground, making a big old thump as if something was supposed to be thrown at us.
Is there a tree that close to us though?
No. No, look up.
We have a tree right
If
here.
if you're looking up right now, the tree leaf branch cuts off right here.
And we heard it that way.
And there's no
I don't know if there's a tree like that
There's
close.
no tree in the middle right there. The closest tree to us is right here, and it's way over there. And there's no branches. Over here, it's empty. There's no branches reaching that far. So what was that?
Because that was like just within feet of right here. And I don't
Yes.
see a tree that close.
That close for us to hear it that close.
And it's dark as hell out here too.
And I think I told you my friends were out here.
Right.
And I think it was those dogs. You know how the
hellhounds.
The hellhounds.
Bless you. Oh.
Because they said it was something running. And it wasn't not only them. There was another guy told me too that he was out here one day and he literally saw something like, I think what did you call them? The hellhounds?
Yeah. So legend says, urban legends that I've heard, if you ever seen hellhounds, there's supposed to be one with 3 heads or 3 of them. If you ever see the hellhounds, they're basically here to come get you because they chose you, as in, since you're supposed to see them for them to come get you. I heard dogs.
That way. He said, talk about us and we'll come out here.
But yeah, that's you do your own research. And everything we talk about will be linked in the description box below.
It's getting real out here.
It's getting scary.
It's getting really
It's
real out
9:20.
here. We're out here and we're talking about stuff. There's no cars out there. Everyone that was kicking it back out here because they know that it gets dark out here, everyone dipped out of Dodge. This park we're probably the only ones out here right now.
Yep. And for whatever that was.
And I think, yeah, because everybody already knows
And I thought it was Miguel walking by because it sounded like grass at first, like when you're stepping on leaves, and then all of a sudden you hear that big old loud thing, and it was right here though.
Yeah.
And that thump was like.
See, if you look up, the leaf stops right here. The branch stops right here.
But it couldn't have been leaves because it was something.
And that wasn't an acorn because that sounded, if you were here, it sounded like if somebody picked up like a really big old rock and not just a small rock, like a big one. Like you have to have muscles and just chuck it. Like it was a loud thump.
Huh.
An object was.
It was an object, yes.
There.
So if you're from Fresno, jot down a comment, let us know. Have you ever witnessed any paranormal here at Kearney Park? Because we just did.
Hey, could it have been a duende?
Girl, what would a duende be? Oh my God.
That he could be
Maybe a duende.
No.
The duendes are the little guys, right?
The little guy that he could be out there watching us and he fell. I mean, I'm just saying.
You say that, and you know what I think of? Those little memes where they're funny, where the 2 witches and one of them sitting at a table and one falls from the tree.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying.
Because we're out here.
Because we're out here, and there's stuff, and it could have been because it.
Nightwalker.
No, I don't. No,
he said the nightcrawler.
No, it was not a nightcrawler. I don't think.
But I've only heard about the duendes like about maybe 1 or 2 years ago. I didn't know about those either.
Oh yeah, the duendes are.
There's a lot of things that people don't know about.
Yeah, that was maybe a year, 2.5.
And when we talk about it, a lot of people think that we're like we don't tell the truth. You know what I mean? Or we're making stuff up.
Embellishing it, right?
But no, it's like I'm just saying. Could it have been because they do live?
Yeah.
And we're out here in the country,
and
so you don't know.
We're out here in the country.
I'm just scared, you guys. I'm just scared
because it kind of to me it sounded that it was up there, and it was kind of like this is what I want to say, kind of hunched, like looking at us, and he missed a step, or he missed a branch, and he fell.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You see what I mean?
What you're saying. Yeah. She's basically saying, what if there was a duende spying on us, and as he was trying to move closer, he ended up missing like a step or grabbed onto something that he thought was there, and he just tripped and fell.
Yeah. He didn't want to be, caught.
And it looked like,
yeah. We're just hearing stuff all over from different angles. So if you see us looking around right now, it's not because we're hearing stuff that happened for sure.
Yes.
At Kearney Park, by the way.
The dogs over there, dogs, coyotes, the 3-head, whatever you talked about. The hellhounds. We're hearing stuff from behind the mansion. There's no other cars out here because, the mansion's closed. It's Sunday. There's no tours going on and it's nighttime. And
the park closes at 10.
Look, I'm going to tell y'all this. I am a paranormal podcaster. So if you know, that means we tell haunted stories and urban legends about ghost stuff. I am not a paranormal investigator where I'm going to be going to go look for ghosts and try to hunt them. So just know I am scared right now out of my mind. When you experience these things, like right now you guys are watching, y'all just think like we're being dramatic. But when you are being literally noticing haunted stuff around you, you get scared and it's scary.
In the pitch black.
It's dark.
We have
you see
these
the
lights on us, but that's it. I mean, there's nothing else out here. You can see like a little light from the back of the Kearney Mansion, like a porch light, something out here. These right here are the only lights. If you can see them behind me, there's like the parking lot lights, but that's it. The rest of the park has no other lights. The only reason they're here is because they're in front of the house.
I'm scared. I'm so scared right now.
So now I get to tell my tia, I have a story for you. As I was telling your story to them.
Wow.
Like we were sitting here, we noticed other things. Now, it might not be paranormal, right? Let's just say that. It might not be paranormal. Mm-hmm. Megan, rewind and listen to that. I know I caught it on camera.
I heard that.
That was a high-pitched chirp. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just saw something run like a dark shadow. I swear.
After that second chirp?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dark as hell here. Those are two different chirps, but they were really close together.
And they were really close to us.
Yeah, and I didn't get a chance to see that because the light on this side, I didn't get a chance. I can see the buildings and stuff way distance out there, like shadowed, but I don't.
You know, a lot of people don't believe in the paranormal, but when you experience it yourself, that's when you're like, oh, those people aren't crazy.
Yeah, there's energy everywhere you go, everywhere. And this and Fresno has so many old buildings, even downtown. You take a haunted tour online, and we go walk around. You hear different buildings that are restaurants now, but they have ties to way back in the day, like when Fresno was being built. And we took a tour, walked around by the courthouse and by the downtown area. What is that? Where they do concerts? Is it like
they do like little festivals.
You can do like a concert and stuff in there. It's like a memorial or something.
Yeah.
And we're walking down by the train station and whatnot. And then as she's talking to us, she's holding a lantern and a white owl flies over us.
Oh.
And this was during the Haunted Ghost Tour in Fresno, California?
Here, yeah. You can find it online. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll send you the link.
Do they do it often?
It's at nighttime. We have to meet up around 8:30 at night or 9 o'clock when it gets dark, and you walk around different places, and she just gives you like a history and tells you about the stories and the connections to that building and how they are within Fresno. Like, you know, back in the day when people came in on the trains and how they built the houses and how the fairgrounds was used as a camp for whatever. Just basically different ties around stuff. And we stopped by like the Fresno Unified Holo Records because we couldn't go to Roosevelt School. And that was a tie that would represent and stand in place as she told us a story about Roosevelt because Roosevelt's Fresno Unified School District, right? And so
with Leslie, with the guy,
the
haunting,
the tour, it was a gal that showed us that.
No, but that guy.
No, but what he's saying,
okay,
I get what you're saying. He's saying that they're giving the history lessons, but she's talking about Leslie who passed away at Roosevelt High School. So I'm pretty sure, you know, when you ask them about these stories, they're not going to tell you because they don't want to associate with it. They're not trying to give it they're going to tell the history, but not the passings, if that makes sense. Yeah. And they don't want to correlate it with, it being haunted as a confirmation that it is.
Right, and don't quote me on,
correct.
She was telling us
allegedly.
Allegedly about the person off of the water tower and a bunch of different histories.
Wow,
like that,
we didn't know about that one.
I'm about to sneeze.
Bless you.
She wants to sneeze.
I can feel them. You know when the hair is going, watermelon. Have you heard that?
No.
So I was going to sneeze off camera, but if you guys ever need to sneeze and you don't want to sneeze, you're supposed to say watermelon.
Oh.
I don't know. It just works. Like right now, it just worked.
Wow.
Yeah. She's hot too.
I was like, don't. Well, you know, let's get back into the hauntings. What other haunted stories have you heard about? Or, you know what? Actually, we talked about this. Are you okay? Are you about to sneeze too?
No, I'm just taking a deep breath.
Okay.
Pick a different fruit.
Well, let's jump back into the haunted stories with Fonzie. I was going to ask you, have you ever had any paranormal experiences?
Yes. Have. Other than the driving in my car dying out.
But I meant like where you witnessed something paranormal.
Nothing moving. It was sound and things that have happened in where I'm at now at my house. So my grandmother had passed away, and we all had lived in the same house, and I wanted to downsize, so I ended up going to like a 2-bedroom house, right? And it happened to be, by luck, a house that was in the family, and I moved into there, right? And it wasn't really ready. We wanted to like fix it up and paint over everything like that, but I was like, I'm going to move in a little bit earlier. I can help those with whatever it's going to go on, and just help doing stuff. So you move in. It has like no furniture. I went and I was like, I'm going to be here pretty late. So I was like, I'm going to take a lawn chair just so I can have something to sit in. I'll take a little ice chest to have some snacks. I mean, mine is just down the street. I can go back and forth, but I was like, I don't want to drive back and forth, right? I'll take my little Bluetooth speaker in there and, paint, put some Venetian blinds up there, get some stuff ready. And I'm there, and it's a weekend, and it's about 10 p.m. And I'm there, and I had just got done helping paint some stuff and doing some loose ends and whatnot. And I decided, hey, I don't want people looking into the living room and finding out that it's kind of empty, so I'm going to put up some Venetian blinds, right? So I'm there, and I'm drilling some stuff and putting the bar that you can put the blinds in and hook them up. And I've been there for a while already, right? So it's nighttime, it's quiet, there's no TV, anything. I'm there. I do have a Bluetooth speaker, but I'm just so busy that I'm not doing anything, and it's there. It's right, sitting on like the little like an island, if you will, between the living room and the kitchen. And so I'm doing that and minding my business, just doing my stuff. Out of nowhere, it's dark, and I hear boom.
Like the Bluetooth turn
on? The Bluetooth
on?
connected to the phone, which is sitting on the window pane in front of me at the window that I'm putting the blinds on.
And you weren't playing no music at the time?
It was dead quiet. I was just too busy. It was sitting there. Nothing was on. Just the phone was just sitting, phone on the window pane, right? Here, boom. And instantly, the song that goes on, and this is where it gets creepy, right? Because my grandparents, I took care of them, and I lived with them, and my grandfather's favorite song was Ramon Ayala's Un Rinconcito al Cielo, and he would play it for my grandma all the time. And he passed away first, And so it connects, and I hear boom, and the first thing is that song comes on, and it connects to that song, right? And I'm freaking out, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm the only one in the house. I got chills, right? And I'm thinking the phone's going to disconnect off the Bluetooth when I make a phone call. Because I call my cousin, and it's still playing. And I'm on speaker, and I'm like, can you hear that? And then she's like, yeah. And I said, that's the Ramon Ayala song. And it just started playing by itself right now as I'm putting blinds up on the window. And she goes, that's Grandma's song. I said, I know. But the window pane had my phone on it, and I was 2 hands. I'm not touching the phone.
So how did it just start playing on its own?
And it's going to play that song. And she said, well, you're not at the house by yourself then, huh?
And because it ties to the family.
And that's our family home.
She basically was like, hey,
because
I
that house
visit you.
was built back in the day. It's the house that was there. And my Nina lived next door. And those 2 houses were side by side of each other. And it's my grandmother's sister and her husband. They built those 2 houses on those lots. So this, it stayed in the family. So I'm in there, and I'm now living in my tia's house, who had passed away a long time ago. My cousins owned it at the time. And so I was like, yeah, I'll move in there. But that song to be played in the middle of the night at 10 o'clock at night, and nobody's there. So, and both my hands are, I'm holding stuff. Yeah. So it just connects, and that song.
So if you're from Fresno, drop down a comment, let us know. Have you ever had someone who passed away and came back and visit you? And, I've heard that. Okay, so this might be a little off topic because it's basically spiritual. You know how we see angel numbers?
Right.
Okay, but there are people who believe that when you hear music that's related to something, it basically is a message from the angels to you. Now, now back to your story, what if your grandma already passed away? Well, she passed away.
Yeah.
Now she's up in heaven, right? Yeah. Again, we're not going to speak about religion. If you don't believe, then that's on you, but I'm just going to speak about what I know.
Right.
What if your grandma became an angel, and that's how she communicated with you, to be like, hey, like, mijo, stand here. Yeah, I'm here.
This is at Tia's house, and
and you're gonna be safe here.
And I'm just connected to let you know that
I got you.
So that was what I thought too, because for it being a house that's from the family, and then she goes and it's her sister's house that they had built it. And then that my cousin was telling me, she goes, well, she's there with you right now. And I was like, this is tripped out, because I had been there a couple of days before, and, after work and come down. So it wasn't the first time in the house. And sometimes I don't have the music on, and sometimes I do. I just happen to not, because I was like, I'm just going to get stuff done. I wanted to. I didn't get a chance to do it yet. Sometimes you get sidetracked. You're like, oh, I should have put that music on. An hour and a half goes by, and and I had been there for a little bit too. So all of a sudden, for it just to kick on, maybe she was like, hey, it's boring in here. I want to put music on for you. Listen to this.
Okay. My question is, so I'm not saying that it wasn't true,
Right.
what happened to you. But did you look up that song prior to? Do you know what I mean? How sometimes you look for you go on,
like, I want to go ahead and play that when I get there. This is going to be on a playlist I have.
No. Is that your playlist? No?
No, it's on my phone. It's in one of my playlists because we played it at the cemetery when she passed and whatnot. And then but after that, we would listen to it, you know?
I'm getting chills.
So when you, and she's at Fresno Memorial. So when we did it, it was one of the songs, you know, as you play music for during the services and whatnot.
No.
That was
But for it to pop up though during
and I don't listen to Spanish music oddly because I don't really know. I mean, I listen to Selena. Anyone listens to Selena. But I don't know Spanish. I don't really speak Spanish, so I'm not going to sit there and listen to like. I mean, we hear it growing up like Vicente and Ramon.
Ramon and Los Tigres del Norte, right?
But is it heavy on my playlist? No, because I don't really understand them and
that's what I'm on. Yeah. So maybe I said it wrong.
Yeah.
So it's not on your favorite.
No,
it's not a rotation.
Like 90% of my song is like, you know, house music and old school and, you know.
Right. That's what my question was. Is it like on your top 10?
No.
Right,
you know?
right.
Oh,
but for it to pop up and then the Bluetooth came on, I don't know. That's just scary.
Yeah.
And it's basically like a message saying she came to let you know, like, it's okay.
Yeah. Because if any Spanish song was going to, like, that's going to be on there, I'm a big Selena fan. So if anything is going to pop up,
it would have popped up.
It would have popped up. That or some old school and stuff like that. But for that specific song, to pop up there,
it was like
I'm getting ready. Yeah, that was significant. I believe I think that was significant. For that
wow, that's crazy.
When I first moved in there, and then a couple years after, when my daughter was in junior high, and she was, you know, someone who's like, oh, I found someone who did tarot readings, and we went to like the store that has like the incense and stuff like that.
Botanicas?
One of those little and so she's like, oh, and then she got this thing where she wanted to start getting into the spell books and I think this is kind of cool and this is intriguing. And I'm not too religious, but I'm religious enough to where I'm just like, okay, you're not bringing a Ouija board in my house.
Right,
You're not bringing all this other stuff. You're not going to start practicing, you know, spells and stuff. It's interesting or whatever, but we're not doing that. And so she started getting just more curious on that stuff and she never brought the items in, right? But the fact that she was intrigued with it and getting to it, I feel to where you start inviting that energy, right? That's just how we were raised. That's just how I believe that you don't start tapping into it because you start bringing that into the house. She starts experiencing sleep paralysis. She starts experiencing seeing stuff in the room. And I'm like, we've never had incidents in this house before,
until she
right?
started.
Except for that one thing with the Bluetooth, right? And then she goes over there and all of a sudden all this stuff happened. We've been there 2-3 years at this point, right? And that's it. And I'm like, and I get mad. I told you not to be getting into that stuff because you're going to start inviting energy and I don't want that here, right? So I get my holy water from San Juan Bautista just because of the ties and how old that place is. I feel like it's more, you know, holy ground or it's more spiritual. I was
going to say more potent.
Yeah, you know, it's older. I mean, you can get it from the church here, but every time I go out of town and we stop there, I'll go get a bottle and I bring it from there. I don't know what, that's just my own little weird thing. So I had some. Now, one night she wakes me up and I'm thinking she's hammering something, and I'm like, why is this girl hammering in the between? Because the wall between my room and her room has like a little hallway, but at the end of the hallway, it also connects to her in line with her closet, right?
Right.
And I'm like, is she putting something up in there? Is she doing something in the room? And I hear banging. Well, she calls me on the cell phone, and she's like, do you hear that? Oh. And I said, what do you? Okay, at this point, I'm like, what do you mean? Do I hear that? That's you. Right?
Like, are you home?
And I get chills when she tells me that. I was like, what are you banging on? She goes, no, do you hear that? And she's like, there's somebody banging outside of my window. So the wall is on the side of the house, right? There's my window, the electrical box, and then her window. And I'm, well, that's not you. She's like, and it's loud. Boom, 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 boom. Like someone's trying to get your attention to get in or wants to wake you up, right?
Yeah.
And nobody should be on the side of the house anyways. So I look and I tap the Echo Show to shine the light on and I can see it because I have a camera that faces in the backyard. And it has perfect, clear shot of where we would hear that. There's nobody there. I'm watching the screen. And the creepy part that sends chills down your spine is going to be that you're watching the screen on the camera and you're supposed to be you're supposed to be seeing somebody. There's nobody there.
And you're still hearing the hammer.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm like, oh my God, I got to tell this damn thing. I got to go outside and look because, you know, what if there's a delay, right? I get up, I run outside to the side, and when I get out there, I don't hear anything, and there's definitely nobody there. So that pounding stopped, and I don't hear it from the outside. I come back inside, and the pounding has stopped. I knock on her door and I open the door and she's sitting on the bed and she was like, well, what was it? I said, there's nobody there. And I'm telling her as I'm going outside, I said, I'm looking at the camera right now. There's nobody outside. And I can hear her. boom, boom, boom. I'm watching the camera. There's nobody out there. I'm going to go outside.
So who was it?
What was it? Who was it? Yeah, there was nobody out there. And I come back inside and I get the holy water and I start spraying it because I have a little hole in the top and I spraying it. I'm doing a prayer real quick and I don't pray, but at this point You're praying. Yeah. And it stopped. It hasn't happened since then.
Well, good.
So it was something that your daughter, the energy she...
It had to have been something because I do believe that when you start dapping into certain things like that, you'll bring an energy in. Mm-hmm. And I've always had, when they start telling you to don't play the Ouija board because you can bring, if you don't say goodbye, it leaves the door open or a portal or whatnot and stuff like that. And the stories like that, even though I've never played it, I believe it because I don't know if I'd rather believe it and not dip into it than not, and then have, mess around and find out.
Correct.
Right? That's how
because whether you are aware of the paranormal or not, it's real. And even if you don't know much about it, don't tap into it. Don't play with it.
You don't know how strong it is or any of that stuff. So I was just growing up, you don't bring those toys in, don't play with those, don't do a spell, don't do that. That's cool. And if you do it, that's great. And if I have a story and I hear it, that's cool. It's intriguing to me. Do I practice it? No. I mean, I have sage and I have an because sometimes incense smells good. And then I'll do the sage cleansing. That's pretty much as far as I go. A couple prayers here and the holy water and like maybe some sage, opened up the door and said, get out. Everything, all that stuff that I can think of at the time. Because again, it's the middle of the night. And this is like, 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Basically witching hour, because I believe that the whole and for that to happen, me to watch that camera and to be listening as I'm watching and nobody's there and then go outside and then all of a sudden it's gone and I don't hear it. That was one of the other significant things that really freaked me out.
And this happened in Fresno.
Mm-hmm.
What side of Fresno?
I'm on Northwest.
Yeah,
I'm kind of like by the Island Water Park area.
A lot of things happen
I'm from Highway City.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of things happen in Fresno. Whether you believe in haunted places or not, just know things like this exist. I'm pretty sure your grandparents
have stories.
Have stories.
They got some stories.
So drop down a comment and let us know what you guys experience or what your grandparents or brother or anybody in your family experienced. Now back to you. Now do you believe that there are paranormals out there?
Oh yeah. Now I'm more of a believer than I was before because you would just hear stories and assume. And then you're like, okay, don't mess around because there could be something happen. Mm-hmm. And then when you start to experience things that happen, it makes you believe it even more. Even if you're not practicing certain things, you don't hear it often. You just need 1 or 2 good experiences to convince you that, there's stuff out there that's out there.
Because energies are real and they do not dissipate or go away. They just transform into another form of energy.
Yeah. And I had forgotten about the Bluetooth speaker and the pounding until we were talking. And then I was telling her, hey, I'm going to go out and, and I was talking about some stuff and she goes, oh yeah, don't you remember these and these? And I was like, yeah, because I was like, I don't even really remember if I have any more stories other than, my tia's thing on Kearney Park. She goes, hello, there was 2 things that happened at the house. She reminded me.
Yeah.
And I said, oh yeah, maybe I suppressed that because I still live there. And I'm like, I don't want to hear any little crack from the winter thing. I'm thinking that's just the house moving or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe with that story, it was actually a good story. It was more of a loving energy.
That first one, I believe. That was going to be more because it did creep me out and I freaked out for a little bit. But then when I sat there and after I hung up on the phone with my cousin, I was like, okay, well, no, it's not. Nothing was falling off. Nothing was moving. Nothing was bad. It had to have been more of a hello, or like a sign of I'm here or something versus something bad. The second one with the pounding, that one was a different feeling. That was a negative because when you're looking at the screen and you get that whole, like when your stomach dropped, like when that thing just fell or whatever was thrown at us earlier, and you get that oh shit,
or your
the chills and it's stopping your stomach.
Yeah.
So as I'm looking and I'm like, and she calls me, she's like, do you hear that? And I'm asking her, isn't that you? And then I look at the screen and I'm like, I'm listening to this pounding right here, but I'm looking at that screen and you're like, shit.
There's nobody there.
Yeah. Whatever you would assume happened like in a movie when you're watching at that point and that person, that's kind of like what you experience. And you're like, oh my God, what is it? So then I go out there and I got to suck it up and go face this thing if I even do outside in open air at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever time in the morning it is. And there's nothing there. And I come back in, I grab the holy water because at this time I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling some kind of way right now. You get that chills, you get that panic and your mind starts thinking like, oh crap.
Some paranormal thing just went down.
And you got to protect your daughter as well.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, you're kind of telling yourself, did this just happen?
Right.
Is this happening right now? Because this stuff just doesn't happen to you, and all of a sudden you get
Not
that, you're like,
randomly
yeah,
either.
not randomly.
It doesn't happen just randomly.
No.
Yeah,
As if a spirit chose
it's not
you.
it's not on the norm. So you don't just be like,
Yeah.
oh, that happens all the time. No, this is something that's never happened, and you're scared.
Wow. These stories are scary, especially at Kearney Park and Mansion.
The children.
No,
noises.
the banging on the door.
No,
the wall. Hell no.
That's
Hell
crazy.
no. Hell no. So before we end the podcast, what do you have? Do you have any advices to tell the audio listeners and viewers of what we just talked about? Like to be careful with the paranormal, or don't play with things they don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
if you don't understand it, don't mess with it. If you hear a story and don't go looking for it. Basically, don't go looking for trouble, right? Yeah, if you hear a story and you're out here and you're like, oh, I'm out here and, let's see if we see something. Yeah. And, me in high school, I hear stories all the time. Let's go to the cemetery and see if we can find stuff, right? Yeah, now I learned my lessons. Don't go do that. If you don't know about something, don't go dip into it. If you're not familiar with it, don't try to practice it. I mean, if you get your education on you and that's what you choose to do and you just practice them, that's cool. I mean, it intrigues me too. I'm not that savvy with all that stuff, so I'm not going to go try to it. I've already learned that, just even being interested and wanting to know brings the energy in, my experience. So if I'll like it from a distance.
Wow.
That's actually a good advice.
You know what, right now?
I like it. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by it, and I get curious about it. And if you do it, I'll hear your stories, but I will like it from a distance. I'm not going to go put my hand in that cookie jar.
And now you're telling me everything. We're like recapping what we're saying, right? And I looked at you and I'm thinking, the only thing I could think of is what your aunt said about the smile.
We have to drive down this street.
Right. And I'm like this. Oh my God.
We're going that way right now.
And then you said you saw something as we were coming up here.
Oh, when we were driving on Kearney Boulevard, I saw like a dark man. It was like a dark figure.
Yeah.
Let me correct that just in case people might take it the wrong way.
Shadow silhouettes. Yeah.
I saw a shadow silhouette standing between the palm tree and the bushes, just like this. And I'm like, oh, damn, there's somebody right there. You know?
Yeah, and they came out here back. This is like in the 70s because they're doing their thing. They go and party out here. People partied out here back in the 70s all the time. And probably before even gates were modernized now and it was more open. Mm-hmm. They're out there having a good time. They're out here past midnight. They're doing their thing. They're on bikes and cars and whatnot. This is like the 70s. And she's driving down. And for anyone who drove down Kearney Boulevard knows that there's just nothing but a row of palm trees and it's dark. So for someone... And there's a gap between houses. So it's not like anyone's just going to be living. Who's walking around out here? You step out from the palm tree out to almost to the side of the road.
Back in the day. Right?
That way someone can see you. Who the hell's that out there, right? Mm-hmm. And then for you to pass by and look at like, who's this guy? And to see that face out here.
I believe her. I believe she saw it. Mm-hmm. I believe people see things.
The rainbow.
Oh, Rainbow Ballroom.
And to hear about, you're going to go to the concert out there or an event out there, you know about that place. And I'm like, no. And she tells me. And then as you grow up, you start hearing similar stories from people either on
other social media.
People you don't even know that go to a different, my aunt went over there and they told you about this story. And, you start, and then current now on social media, and you start hearing people that are, even younger, because that stuff's handing down because, you're penning down the story about a place that stuff had happened at.
And this is why we're here. I started the Witch Talk Tales podcast because I've experienced my own paranormal, and I've always wanted to know, like, why did the spirit haunt me? Why did it happen to me? And so this is why I started doing interviews with other people to find out about this paranormal. Now, the future generation that are going to be watching this are going to be like, damn, I remember that story because my grandma told me when I was 6 years old, blah, 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 blah. And we want to keep this urban legend, haunted places, even Fresno history, just to keep going. So we don't forget about them because there are other, like the Wolf Manor. It's gone.
It's gone now.
So the future generation are not going to know about it.
Like older, and we start hearing the same stories. I believe all that stuff.
Me
that
too.
Happened. Yeah, I'm not going to say that was fabricated because I heard it from different minor little details. Some of them say hoof, some of them say chicken. I've heard chicken the whole time, but you start hearing those and you don't know these people and you're like, how is this story going to get around for people that have
different places,
right?
Here, Stockton, LA,
Texas,
Texas,
everywhere,
Mexico.
even Mexico.
you
The
know.
same story. A devil come and visit you, or the girl, and
the witches in Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Which we will talk about for another time. With you, Sophia, before we do end the episode, do you have anything else to say?
No, I'm just glad I'm here again and back to our norms, witches and norms now. I had been absent for a minute, but I'm glad to be back. Glad to the second podcast that I've been, Fonzie here, and
nice to meet
excellent
you.
to meet you. Your stories. Some people think that we may be a little bit on the cuckoo side, but we're not.
And people can experience what that happened off camera that they can't see, and we're sitting here as it happens in the middle of the night. So I'm just telling you, it can happen anywhere.
It can happen to anybody.
We got a chance to have our own little experience here while we're here
together.
Yeah,
but that's it.
Crazy.
Well, that is it, my witches and norms. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Where I'll see you guys on Monday for audio and on Sunday for visual here on YouTube. Blessed be, and always remember, before going to these haunted places, treat these spirits with respect, because you too one day might be haunting the location. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.